Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and whenever you may watch this replay. My name is Sherry with Ratchet Up Your Art, and I think we're on day 93. I missed yesterday, but anyway, we're on day 93 of the 100-day journey. So we're coming to the end here, and my apologies for missing yesterday. And the the last 25 days have been kind of crazy. A lot going on, behind the scenes. And yesterday I was so frustrated because I don't know what the computer was doing. It just got stupid. The computer just got stupid, I guess, is what I want to say. I was very frustrated with the computer. Yeah, sure. It's several years old. Got it. It's time to get an upgrade. Got it. But really, you're gonna impact my life? Like, I was not happy about that. So my apologies. We're doing the thing today. I'm hoping the next 7 days or however many days I have left will go smoothly. We're here, we're doing the thing, and we're finding time for our art. And that's the whole purpose of this 100-day journey. And so um, I've learned a lot over the 100 days. And so I'm going to have a video on all the things that I learned in the 100 days, take a look at some of the art that I created live, and a few other surprises. And so there'll be a couple videos that will come out on that. Um kind of like a recap, lessons learned kind of thing, and then another video. So in the next I would like to get both of those out. Hold on one second. I'd like to get both of those videos out by the end of June, but we'll see because I have another journey that I'll be starting in July. So things are moving along, and I'm pretty excited. But I know that I asked the community to provide some ideas for a particular panel. This is not going to be a it's going to be a collage, but it's not going to be a jelly print collage. It's going to be like a different collage altogether. And so that's what we're doing today. We're doing the steampunk jelly print collage experiment. It's not like the other things that we're creating. This is going to be that's not going to be organic. It's not even going to be semi-realistic. It's going to be using the stuff I have on hand, because steampunk, yeah, I don't have a lot of that, but we're going to come up with something. And so let's get started. Okay, so couple things here. This is the background that we did with the Tim Holtz texture fades. Loved how it turned out. I still have this this I still have some of this paper. Um and then I yeah, I don't have a lot of steampunk stuff. So I am pulling out some of this Tim Holtz ideology collage paper. I did go through a lot of my Tim Holtz stuff and I just wasn't feeling it. So this is what I ended up with. I ended up with maybe using some of this collage paper here. And I just want you to know these few things are last minute. There's one thing in here that I am planning, so to speak. Then I have these collage words by Dina Wakely. So I'm gonna see what we use in those. Some of the stuff is, several years old, and I'm big about using my stuff. So I wasn't for the longest time. I was definitely like, let me keep all the things. I don't want to use it. And some of you may feel like that. Um, but I'm using the things. Now, what I saw these big giant words, and I really like these big giant words in here. I want this to be more like, I don't know. I want it to be where it's kind of inspirational and this little piece can sit on its own, right? So that's what I'm looking for here, but I don't know what these words are going to be. So I did want something kind of snarky, but um yeah, I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. And it's okay if it's not snarky. I couldn't think of anything snarky to say. So maybe it's just going to be something inspirational. So these are the words here that I'm looking at. And I guess I don't know if I'm going to use these big ones or if they're going to be smaller words. So we have those and put those to the side. These are kind of like stickers. I don't know. They're kind of weird. Or rub-ons. I'm not sure. But I found those. I don't think those are Dina Wakley's. Those are something else. I do have these transparencies that I am liking as well. So we might find some. Oh, it's stuck on me. Might find some words in here that we can cut on these transparencies, but I haven't quite seen. I'm not sure yet. And it would probably be, well, no, well, okay. I was thinking something else, but never mind. So there's these Dina Wakley transparencies. Some of them, yeah, they have words on them, and then some of them are just like big giant letters that you've seen me use before. And then words you can't even make out, like, and that was on purpose or on design. I have these as well. These label stickers. They're like the old label punch. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's just crash there. Okay. There is this set here by Dina Wakley. It's got the people and the background, not very steampunkish. Maybe you could do something. We could do something with this here, but I just pulled it out. And then, of course, I have probably the only steampunkish thing I have is this Vagabond, Sir Vagabond by Stamperia. I've had this for quite a long time. And so I was looking at this guy right here, this Wanderer or Sir Vagabond, whatever his name is. Really liked the way he looks here and thought that there was some words that we could use here, maybe cut it out or something. I'm not sure. But but he's kind of big, right? Like my thing's only 4 inches. So, just putting that on there, that's not interesting to me, So, I wanted something with time as well, time and numbers. And so I was looking at some other things as well. And I was looking at these. I mean, I've really thought about this project because steampunk is just it's not who I am. But I like steampunk. Don't get me wrong. I just don't create steampunk, right? This I was just playing with it. It wasn't even part of it. But I like this idea of like time and a circle. And so there's this little silver, what do you call this thing? Anyway, it unraveled, whatever that is. Just looking at that. But I really I had this in my stash. And I really liked this, but it was very retro in my mind. And I was like, well, that's not steampunkish. But I thought it was an interesting background. And of course, I was looking for like time, and I have a bunch of years and stuff, gauges, and I just dropped them off. That's great, Sherry. Gauges and everything like that. So just all the things were coming to mind. So we're just gonna. We're not gonna finish this today. I could tell you that because I already want something else. I already have something in mind here. As far as like, I like that watch. I like these little houses. I didn't think about these little houses. I didn't think about these little houses. I kind of like those. Those might be cool for the background. Yeah. I mean, like cutting out 1 or 2 of these backgrounds, houses in the background. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I like it better with this. Huh. I do like those. Okay. Um, any case, this is the Stamperia Sir Vagabond. You may have it already, or you're like, Sherry, that is so old, but I just haven't used it. So now that's kind of cool. Back there is kind of like a far away distant scene. Okay, so and then we had these as well, and I was like, okay, that's just like, I don't know. I just wasn't too thrilled about just cutting that out and posting it on there. That's just not what I do. But I did see him. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, my apologies. You did see him, this guy right here. And so we're going to cut him out. I have some ideas for him. He's too big up here to, I don't really want to cut him off. Like, I would be cutting him off at the neck. And I just don't want that. So I think we're going to cut him out today. And then we're going to see where it takes us. Oh yeah, I have this one here, but he's still too big for those. And then we have these little gears. I thought those were cool, but I really like this heart. This heart's cool. So I don't know, we'll see. I have some gears, some actual Tim Holtz gears, and some of these as well. But then the piece becomes really too heavy at that point. So we're going to stick with mostly probably paper and not go metal. We'll see as we develop. So we're just going to take this out. And we're just going to do some cutting. And I'm not typically this type of person that will like cut something out like this. This is just yeah. This is really going outside my comfort zone just a little bit. And we're just going to go with it. And I still got to do scrapbooking. Like maybe I should do 100 days of scrapbooking. That's what I'm thinking. I got some scrapbooks to do. But that's just not my channel, but man, I need to do it myself, like whether I go live or not. And I haven't decided if I'm going to continue this live for 100 days, but and there are some people that go live every day, and I just don't know if that's what I'm doing, but I probably won't. But I do need to do some scrapbooking because I got a lot of scrapbook stuff to do, and I want to get that done. That's how I started out. Or well, I mean, I started out as an artist, don't get me wrong, but then when someone introduced scrapbooking to me, um I was all in it. But because I like heritage stuff, and at the time my grandmother was still alive, and I wanted to capture her memories, and my grandfather had already passed, and so I just kind of I wanted to do that before she passed away, and so I captured some memories and stuff, and I have a lot of her heritage stuff. Um, but then I had my own family, so you know how all that goes. But and quite honestly, one of the first things before I got into scrapbooking, and after I was an an art teacher already. I mean, I'd already p- stopped being an art teacher by this point. Um, I got into stamping, and I was a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I did that for a while, and then someone introduced me to scrapbooking. So that's really, and then it would just all downhill from there. I mean, like, well, not downhill, maybe uphill. I don't know what you want to call it, but all the things started happening for me, from a maker perspective, a creativity perspective. And I've been hooked ever since, and oh man, that's been like over 20 years. So I'm into all the things. And then someone introduced me into jelly printing, and oh yeah, I'm into all the things. I got introduced to quilting, because that was time I could spend with my mother. She's a quilter, and so I was learning a lot from her. So I'm into all the things. I can't help it. I have severe. I think it needs to be called like, um, I don't know, something like squirrel syndrome or something, because I'm into all the things. I like all types of art. So, I'm a typical art teacher. I like all types of art. I like experimenting with all the different things. And it's funny how when I create my art, I go back to my roots, and my roots is painting. And I just I don't know. I just think that's interesting because that's where I started when, I was real young. I wasn't even a teenager when I started painting, and the influences of my family, because both sides of my family, my grandmother on one side was a crafter, and then on the other side were more fine artists. And so I feel like I am like this epitome of both of them and the influences that have been in my life, with crafting and p- and fine arts. And so for me, um, boy, I'm chatty today. Wow. Um, must have gotten some sleep or something. I don't know. But for me, it is definitely an escape, and from the 9 to 5 job, it really is. I have to use it as my stress relief. I gotta create. I don't care if I just piddle. When you go into your art room and you just piddle around, yeah, I don't care. And that's just I have to be touching the things. I have to be connected with crafting or art. I just have to do that. I I think that's what keep keeps me sane, so to speak, right? And not let the stress get to me. And as you've seen in the 100 days, if you followed me for the last 100 days, is definitely the thing. Work can really get to me, and it's because I can't be creative. I mean, I'm working with a bunch of people who do not appreciate creativity. Um, and you would think, they often preach, think outside the box. No, no, they want you really in the box, but you got to come up with solutions. So how can you come up with solutions if you're not allowed to be creative, right? And so I don't know, this particular group that I'm with, yeah, they are hard. I've been with them for about 4 years, and trust me, I'm looking for something else. But um, but they are a hard group to, because I'm virtual. It makes it even harder, because a lot of them are not virtual, and so there's we've talked about that perceptions of when you work from home versus when you're in the office. That's just how my job is. I don't necessarily have to be in the office. I can go in, and I have gone in, as you've also seen and followed me. But man, am I exhausted on those 2 days? Oh yes, it is unreal. Like, how did I not be exhausted when I worked when we were all going into the office? It is just exhausting. The traffic's exhausting, the whole 9 yards. Like, running the kid around before COVID, literally 7 days a week. That kid was moving and a grooving. He had things to do. Not so much now, but um, I was, no offense to anybody, but COVID did a lot of different things. It opened the door for a lot of different ways of thinking that maybe our society wasn't interested in accepting, which is working from home. But also, it slowed my family way down because we were used to moving 7 days a week. And I don't even know how I did it, because going into the office 1 day a week now, I am literally exhausted for almost 2 days. It is unreal. I don't know what the deal is with that. All right, so we cut him out pretty quickly. Wow, that didn't take as long as I thought, and I was rambling for 20 minutes. Okay, so he's a little bit big. Now, I can tell you this, the Sherry in me, she's going to take some colored pencils to this. But right now we're just auditioning things, right? So I kind of like how he's over here and he's looking back, and maybe we have some words right here. I don't know. But I also liked the fact that the background, like, I really want something. I like this background, but I feel like we need to anchor the background a little bit. So we're going to put something there. Oh, here's those houses. Check that out. That's like freaking perfect right there. So that's what we're doing. Um, I didn't even see those until just now. So if I only have to cut up one piece of paper, I'm good with that. Now, I don't know what I would be scrapbooking that would be steampunkish, but that's okay. I don't have anything, I think, in my pictures that would be considered steampunkish, but we're doing it. We're doing the thing. We're gonna use the paper. This Tim Holtz cutter here. I'll tell you what, I was holding on to a cutter for the longest time and even bought a second one because they stopped selling it, and I really liked the cutter. And then I started using this Tim Holtz cutter, and I like it as well. So, I am surprised that I'm using the Tim Holtz cutter a lot more than my cutter that I just love. So, does this fit? He doesn't quite fit. I mean, they don't quite fit on the entire, but maybe the entire page. But maybe, just maybe. Yeah, I think that'll work. Like he'll cover up the pieces. Well, he won't be totally off, so we don't know what we're gonna do here. I kind of want that in the background, but this does not continue, and that's very frustrating to me. So we may have to do something to kind of blend it into the background. I don't know. But let's just go ahead and cut this thing out. So just so you kind of understand where I'm going with this background is kind of like this here. You see how I use this jelly print in the background, like this green? All this is just jelly print, and I put things on top of it. So, and I'll just open this up. But you see how I used that whole piece for this card, like is the background, and then I layered other things on top of it to kind of make a scene. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Is I want to use this as like the background, the sky. So this is all like the sky. And this was done with my braille paper, taking an image print from the braille paper. So um that's kind of like what I'm doing there. It's kind of like here. It doesn't quite fit perfectly. You see that little blue line there? But what we could do, I could do one of two things. I was thinking to cut along the edge and outline some of these buildings along the edge. This doesn't have a lot of that, and neither does this. So I was thinking we could probably ink these edges, and then you ink the edge of the whole thing, right? So that's, that's probably what I'll be doing on this. And then, of course, I want this to be down. I want this to anchor the whole page. And then I have this here. Bring him down just a little bit. Now, you see how you have the sky right there? I'm going to cut that out. I want it to be more organic and not square. So let's go ahead and cut that piece out here. And, fussy cutting is not really what I typically do, but I thought this was kind of worth it. This is kind of like I don't know if this is bushes. These are bushes, I think. Because these are definitely not sky. It's kind of like mountains in the back, or at least that's how I'm going to I'm gonna create these. These are gonna end up probably being like mountains in the back because I don't know what this is about. It's either bushes or mountains, and I just can't. I just can't tell. I think they're bushes. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I have a lot of wow, we're already 30 minutes. Wow. Okay. So I have a lot of coloring that we need to do on this page. So we'll probably be doing this one tomorrow as well. So, oh, I don't know what that is right there. Gotta cut that. And we'll extend this up here and cut out that bush right there. I don't know if this is organic enough. I'm not sure. I think we're going to get rid of that. Okay, I've decided to change this up a little bit. So here we go. So we're going to do more hard edge instead of, I'm going to make this more like building. So I'm taking that bush or whatever, I couldn't tell what it was, out of the equation. And it's going to be more hard edge buildings. You know, this little town reminds me of, I've been watching this show when I did get time to watch a show, but it's on Prime, and I don't know what channel it was originally on, but Clarkson's Farm. Have y'all seen that? That's a cool episode. I mean, I'm on season 4 now, but I've been binge watching Clarkson's Farm, and in this little village that they live in England, and it's about this Jeremy Clarkson. I don't know who he is. I've never heard of him before, but he was celebrity of some sort, and I didn't Google him or anything to see what he was about. But um, it's a little raunchy show. I mean, it can be. You know, it's England, right? So they're a little bit more free with their words than what we would say here in America. Out in public, I'll just say that. And it's a cute little show. Love it. Where he goes from being a celebrity to being a farmer, and all his trials and tribulations of being a farmer, like a real farmer. And they're so they live in this little village in England, and that's what this little thing reminds me of, is like a little village in England, or some for not America. Let's just put it that way. This just reminds me of that little, of like a little village in England or something. Um, or maybe Germany or something, you know, just some kind of little town, right? So I've never been to Germany, but you get my point. Um, but it definitely reminds me of a little village in England. And I just really like that show. There's in is it episode 3 or 4, his little farm manager Caleb ends up on tour, doing something on tour, and they get a farm hand to help out Jeremy, and it's a girl, and man, it was amazing to watch her work. It was just amazing. You would never thought she was a farmer. I mean, she didn't look like a farmer, and she knew all the things. And I wish that there was, you know, she was just temporary help until Caleb, the farm manager, came back onto the show. But she was amazing, and um, I would like to see her have her own show, or I'd like to see her back on the show. I thought she did a phenomenal job in what she could do. Um, was just, it reminded me when I was younger and helped out doing some farm stuff, but just I didn't do any of the work that she did. Trust me, I just had to take care of a couple cows and help out in the fields, and but not like, and you know, Not to that extent that she had to do. I never drove a tractor or anything like that. Um, but she had her own tractor. She she did all the things, like real farming. So you ought to you ought to check that out, that show out on Prime if you have it. And so I guess it's easy to talk when you're fussy cutting something so you don't have to think about it. Um, as whereas when I'm actually putting things together, it's um it's not so easy. Okay, I kind of like that better now. See how this is more organic? See, now it looks like it fits. It looks really like that. It looks like it fits on here. Oh, I like how that looks now. And then you have this piece. So, the only thing I need help with from y'all is what do we want to say right here? Like I would like some kind of snarkiness or inspiration, because my idea is this becomes a piece of artwork that can sit on a desk or can be framed or whatever. That's what I'm looking at for this. There's a saying, all who wonders not lost, or, you get that right. You can have some of those, but if you, I will post this and I would say, if you have a snarky remark or inspirational quote or something that comes to mind, drop it into the post. I'm definitely going to ask for that. So make sure to, I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to post this. I'm going to do some coloring. So that's happening tomorrow. We're going to be doing coloring tomorrow and doing all the things. But I am looking for some inspirational quote or something. Uh, it's probably not the steampunkiness that Miss Gracie was looking for, but this is about as close as I can get. Um, I don't know if I'm going to have anything on this tissue paper. Yeah, there's no quotes on here, but I could put a big giant 755 on there. I don't know. I kind of like it just like it is. I mean, by the time I color it, it's going to be a lot. Um, I yeah, I think I'm really looking for like some kind of quote. So let's see. Let's see what would go there. Like it's going to go right there. So like please do not feed the fears. Like I don't think that works. Watch where you put your longings. I don't know about that. Um be you, be present. No. You are infinite. No, don't like that either. Like these words are not working for me. Um Now this one's kind of cool. If you don't like where you're planted, uproot and move. I can tell you that's what I'm doing. I kind of like that one. Head full of fears, there's no space for dreams, like that. Create the world you want. Kind of like that one as well. So those might be some interesting ones. Um, embrace the weirdness. Yeah. Let's see here. Nope, nope, nope. Still looking through here. Tell your story. Live your truth. Like those all resonate with me. Now these are tiny, so we'd have to do something different on those to make those pop, but go with the flow, see what happens. Dreams don't work unless you do. What would you do if you weren't afraid? I don't know about those. Um, your dream is outside your comfort zone. Maybe. I don't know. Refuse to be ordinary. Rise above. That might be kind of cool. Those might be kind of cool. So anyway, definitely, what else do I have? Adventure Waits. I'm just looking at these. Yeah, I don't think these really go with me either. So I have some of these Tim Holtz cards as well, like Time, but I just didn't thought that they were too big. I feel like I would have to cut that down. So what does this say? In every direction. Oh, okay. I was just looking at some of the words that were on this thing to see if there was anything to put on here. Oh, see, it has Irish pocket Irish. Huh. See, that's too big on here. I'd put that on there. Yeah, this is just generic words that they put on here. So I don't see anything that I would want to put on here. Journey, like you could put journey on here, but or journeyman. I'm just not feeling it. So I'll take a picture of this, do a call out, and ask for some ideas and see where we can go with that. And so tomorrow we will go ahead and do some color pencil work, really jazz this up, and and we'll work on this scene. So um hopefully he's steampunky-ish enough. Maybe we'll figure it out, but definitely we'll be asking for some snarky words or some ideas of inspiration, whatever that is. Pretty excited that I came. It took me a couple days to think about this and try audition some things on the side to see what I wanted to do, and I just really kept going back to that Stamperia Sir Vagabond uh, paper that I had, and so we're gonna create something with that. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment below. If you got a snarky comment, you got an inspirational quote that will go along with this piece that I'm doing, please drop it down below. Definitely want to see what you guys come up with, and I will also post it out on the community, on YouTube post that they have to see what I can come up with, what you come up with, and um, yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. It wasn't quite what I was looking for my jelly printing collages, but you know what? It works. And I couldn't see any I'm right there with you, Gracie. I couldn't see anything but a scene. Um, it's not like the others. So I'm really enjoying the challenge you gave me, Miss Gracie. So with the serendipitous crafter. And so thank you for pushing the envelope there. And oh, by the way, we didn't have a craft showdown in the month of May. We had graduation going on. We had a lot between Kara and I. We just had a lot going on. So I could tell you this: um, we are going to have a craft showdown. It's going to be a little different. Um, we're still working out the time. We're going to have a special guest that maybe you don't expect. And then I have another guest planned for July. So we're still working out the times for that. And so I'm pretty excited. Um, and if you would like to be on Craft Showdown, please email us at craftshowdown@gmail.com, or you can email Kara Brandon Creations or myself at Sherry Ratchet Up Your Art. So, there's three different ways you can email us if you want to be on Craft Showdown. We are looking for artists, and what I would like to see is have someone lined up. Sorry, I just have sleep in my eyes still, and it's bothering me. Um, we are looking for someone for the next 6 months for Craft Showdown. We don't have anybody lined up, and that's usually how it works for us. We get somebody, or we go find some people. But if you really want to be on Craft Showdown, please email Kara, myself, or craftshowdown@gmail.com. Would love to get us back on track, and with that, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. And don't forget to comment below because I'm looking for some words for this particular project. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.